It is August 24th, 2018, 3:03 p.m. Eastern Time. Reason for this video, and not trying to be too petty with them and being personal, rather than logging and recording what's happening with myself and, the incidences of being targeted, harassed, anything and everything. I do want to add this. I recorded a video, I do believe, I remember I tried to go to bed or go to sleep around 11:30 a.m. So I recorded the video prior to that. Right after recording that video, I don't know what's happened to me, but as I was laying in bed, matter of fact, I didn't even make it to bed. All of a sudden, I started having full body muscle spasms. My legs were locking up, and it wasn't from complications of hysteria, fear, upset per se. Something was causing it. Severe leg cramps to the point my toes curled. They curled. I've had this happen before, and one of the first times it happening, I had just basically broken my right ankle, and I was at another person's house. I wasn't at the place that I'm at now, that I'm saying in this area, because the targeting is happening. The stalking is basically the way I'll sum it up. They were stalking, following, organizing, and all the rest of the stuff, which they're also pertaining, some of it's law enforcement. I know for a fact from situations in the past, they're trying to get over on me of, you don't know, so you better obey, and things got intervened, and it pissed them off, but at least some of that intervention slowed and helped out with the situation of jurisdictional rights, even legal, even if it was, say, me being accused and it being true, or even not true situation, and them wrongfully enforcing, authoritating, and trying to enforce unlawful power, misconduct, brutality. And what the mental health department here said is basically, instead of being physical brutality, it's mental health brutality. Anyways, carry on with the situation. I was not asleep for over 20, let's see, I got up at 7:30 a.m. after having 7 hours roughly of sleep, I do believe. That was yesterday, so I stayed up. That's 24 hours, 7:30 this morning. 11:30, say I went to sleep about noon. Matter of fact, I know it was noon because I laid there and I got back up because of the spasms. After sitting up here with spasms, they sort of went away, but it was almost like an electrical shock going through my body, causing these spasms. Full all the way into the back. Most of it, pain, was in my leg, inner thighs, stuff like that. But some of it started spreading into my arms and the back of my neck. Anyways, with that being said, targeted with disciplinary actions with no paperwork on record. I've asked the mental health department. They don't have any legal papers for any type of public sanctions, which would be sounding similar maybe to what they're trying to act like they're enforcing, which would be illegal as crap here in Columbus, Ohio, without the paperwork. That's even worse than just harassment. They get into being held captive, community captive, a certain amount of lawfulization, even though it ain't physically captive, but mentally, socially captive, being restricted from rights that I should have, privileges that I should have, or whatever it be, my freedom. Anyways, no, I'm not doing too well. I've been going to neurology, the system here. Somebody is interfering with that. I've had x-rays switched out in multitudes of different types of situations. Some of it is dental x-rays. I've had problems with x-rays of lungs or back, manipulative, I won't say switched out, but manipulated, and for certainty where I was looking at. And I do have some people that, I won't say believe, but are starting to understand that my case is severe enough to be representable, severely representable. Being targeted about my rights privileges the usage of electronics. Recording in public, they can record me, I can't record them. I'd be behaviorally wrong, and it's not okay, but it's okay for these people to walk around and tell what to go on. And there's people that intervene with some of that stuff, kind of like New York City, New York. Some of it had to do with Staten Island Ferry and maritime code, because now it's getting that complicated that you're going from city, once you enter a ferry like that and you get out going through the bay, it turns into maritime code. And they was utilizing electronic jamming equipment, creating to where I couldn't record. So they could be spitting in my face or talking loudly and absurdly, disrespectfully or threateningly, and jamming the devices that I had to be able to make proof with. Threatening that they have the power to control even the surveillance on the boat and blah blah blah. Well, with that being said, these other people stepped in the last time I was there in like 2015 and enforced marine time code, and at which point that jumps it from what they was trying to make it out, blown it off. If we do get caught, it'll be misdemeanor harassment per se, just a small tap on the wrist, to going into marine time violation, which is like more government federal, a really higher situation, terroristical sort of type of situation, even though, you know, prove out that they ain't terrorists, or maybe they are, but let's just go ahead and just say they're a bunch of punks trying to still terrorize, but they're not making like bomb threats or some dumb shit like that, or at least you don't hope not. Anyways, but also it being grouply done though was being caught on too. Anyways, that's the type of help that I was going to say. That's what some of the intervention, and that's just one incident over a couple of decades of time. There's just too much to talk about, and the complications and the complicity of the situation. Anyways, so I am recording this and saying for sure, full body muscle spasms. I woke up and it seems like I've drank a lot of coffee, stuff like that. I know for a fact I've had this happen a few times over the last 10 years plus, where there's an electrical feeling wave going through my body causing muscle spasms to the point uncontrollable, to the point I couldn't even almost soothe the situation. If I stuck the hell you call those, excuse the lingo, where you can test electricity, if I stuck it against my body, it would skip. Now, say on a normal day that it wouldn't skip, it wouldn't change the numbers or some dumb shit. I've tried something as dumb as that, having muscle spasms just a little bit off. When it was a little muscle spasms, the harder muscle spasms, the harder feeling of the shock caused the meter to be completely different from the original test that I did away from the house and in the house, and having a normal, what I say I guess normal is. Is it a thorough test? Is it a concrete test? No. Hell, the test that I did prior could be unstable. So that's the word I'm gonna look for. Stable or unstable. So, but I'm gonna, for myself, gut feeling personally, say it was stable for myself to realize and recognize there's something wrong. Now, that's not just electronic waves creating mind-alterating shit, even though it kind of really is, because if you're going to cause pain, it's going to cause an alteration in the mind to say, hey, I'm in pain. That's still mentally, psychologically messing with you, or messing, like I said, with me. But this is now physical. It's causing the ability to stress out, say, the heart, the body, somehow harm itself. Muscle tension so tight that it seems like the tendons would snap in my body, especially my legs, to the point my toes curl up. Common symptoms which I've been through, ankle and foot doctor, because I kind of damaged my right ankle. One minute they said it was broke and I needed a cartilage replacement, and next thing you know, I didn't go right away with it because that's a life situation. 2 years later, I went back in and they denied the whole thing to a certain extent, and at least cartilage replacement. and still was trying to play the same game, which I went in for a CAT scan instead of an x-ray because it was so severe. Matter of fact, I think I went in for an MRI, which is high. That's basically one of the highest scans that you can have, and they figured out that there was something damaged with inside my ankle that's abnormal than normal diagnoses. I really messed myself up. Anyways, so with that being said, I still went through therapy and some other things, and with those therapists we talked about my symptoms, certain situations and whatnot, lack of water, bananas, the myth and theories, but you know, if it's not too common, then maybe there's something else regulating in the body, you know, maybe a new disease or condition. Well, no. I went in and went tested. I can't say no, but, you know, trying to look into it. But also, on top, that proves that, you know, I'm not trying to make, which somebody else is making out, that I'm making complaint like a hypochondriac, making stuff up. So, whoever's trying to act like they're profiling law enforcement wise, and then blowing me off or trying to make it out we're doing harm to you, I would have to think within your profiling it would be legal for me to stand and say and tell, which I was told in New York City by other law enforcement, that situation is corrupt as shit. Not even corrupt, that's life-threatening of law enforcement if they're acting that way. But be able to piece it together and stand grounds, and I should be able to have them stand them grounds and not pit up with this shit, not even from them. Anyways, that's enough on this video. This video is almost as long as the other video that I was doing, and it is kind of nutty, but it is not. I won't even discriminate discriminate my own self, because I know for a fact I'm not alone, or wasn't, just like in New York City. Insinuations, mimicking, whatever it be. These people are trying to not only get on my nerves, but do some type of damage, not just socially, and threatening and all the rest. So I'm not 100% alone, but yet I am. Where I'm at, I'm alone. Even in New York City, it'll take a minute, and it takes some of the recognition of some of these people, but some of the people that do want to stand up are threatened by the people that are forcing this stuff because they don't want to go through the same thing, or have 50-some people trying to stalk and harass them for trying to help me out or put in a good word or anything else. Which is being proven, which was proven in Colorado Springs, and the situations was happening in 2006, but it, once again, not enough power with law enforcement, supposedly, to be able to protect myself, so I left. One of the bases is, if you don't like the situation, move on. Well, that's what I'm trying to prove, and partially have proved. I did move on, and the situation moved on with me, which is illegal. That would be stalking in most common term, and then some. Because it's not just, you know, following someone through a neighborhood, going to work or whatnot. You're following them across the United States and reinitiating problems everywhere that person is. And not only that, trying to pick up that you're going to do, and they are doing harm to the point of blackmailish, which isn't technical words, but some people understand it. Blackmail, one of the technical words is sabotaging type of situation, to do social liable harm to the person. It may not be physical, but it's enough social harm to be life-threatening, because it's affecting life so much that person doesn't have a life. No matter which way it works out. Emotional assault, harassment, which is severe. Emotional assault, severe. I was told that by the system. Psychological harassment, psychological assault, there's a certain stipulation and specifications and technicalities of diagnosing or understanding which one is happening, emotional or psychological. There is a situation where it's a difference. But anyhow, point of the video, I carried this out too long, just rambling on, I guess, again, and I want to be more professional to a certain extent, maybe to help somebody else out. I've had lazy eye my whole life. My teeth I just had removed due to bad teeth, and guess what, they once again told me the roots when they pulled them out, and I'm laying there already with teeth out. The roots were 100% pearl and great. That means there's a problem on top, means something as such as maybe, you can't say poison, but a bleachy substance that ate the enamel from the teeth, because it didn't hit the root. Usually if you have a bad tooth and it's from bodily, you know, just a normal bad tooth, the root takes an effect of a yellow dingy line, or even the cavity, or something wrong with the root itself also shows a problematical situation. Well, my roots didn't. I didn't get the teeth. I was being bothered in this dentistry office though. That's the second time they've told me. And then they started talking after pulling the teeth out about, oh, maybe fillings would have worked. Well, that's real nice. I have no teeth. I was told that it was bad, and that was back 2 or 4 years ago. And I went with that, told them, and then they just agreed with it. So, and there was somebody there influencing, talking through a wall or opposite side of a wall, basically dominating the dentistry office, which wasn't a really big dentistry office, but anyways, trying to enforce, scare, intimidate, and did enforce what they wanted to. And I think I might have had a mishap for sure. Instead of correct decisions being made, wrong. On top, the collection of evidence, which was talked about prior, and I was intimidated to the point, didn't feel right, to ask for it to hold on to the teeth without being mentally, basically, ostracized, mentally or mental health wise, psycho type of situation, stigmated, of asking to keep the teeth, like somebody had already talked to them like I'm unstable, which I'm not going to disagree to one extent, because shit, I got proof from mental health department, I got proof from witnesses per se, and people that did set forward reports and stuff like that. There is, I may be unstable, but there's a situation causing that situation of the instability. Now, it being represented, or me being able to represent that on paper myself, it would take, and I went back to get paperwork. Some of it disappears, some of the shit they don't even hold on to more than 6 months. Some of it, I don't want to get into that and scare people, but 4 to 5 years, if even that, and it disappears through their system. Depending on where it's at, like a marine time code situation, depending on what it is. Anyways, just rambling on about stuff, so I'm going to end the video here. It's just as long as I did the video prior about insinuations, mimicking, and then I just rambled on into life situations, and you'll get to understand me, some of the situations, maybe get a viewpoint. Some of it is just unstable, stigmated, and I don't want to stigmate anybody else and make you feel bad because of the way, not just my appearance, but my personality, the way that I am, and how drained I am, to affect you to think that you'll become me, or in my situation, or get any worse than what you are, or give you some type of negative energy, or positive, you know, not positive enough to help you out. But yeah, I guess that's that. I sort of blanked out there. Still having spasms, the soreness in my legs, my feet, on top from the the teeth being removed, and on top all kinds of other stuff that's been happening. Like I said, I am seeing a neurologist, but even the system here isn't correct. Ain't been correct in a lot of places, but some bad things have happened. Policy change was one thing, and they called me up. I tried to get a lawsuit from it, not just to be sue crazy. Hey, you got to change your policy. I should be able to have some type of compensation for the treatment. Somebody's interfered with that situation. I never got a lawsuit out of it, and it's too far out for me to file suit now. But anyways, just rambling on some things and spacing out now. Wasted my breath and mental capacity of trying to talk right now. But what I was going to say is professional, but not completely professional, but helpful with my videos, but not just putting out my personal, hey, here, come help me, let me get free, and I wouldn't help back. That's kind of the reason why I'm doing these videos. Stalking.org was one place I had way back in the past. I didn't check back into it, but domesticviolence.org, all these different types of stalking. Sheriff's Department, if you go to targetofunlawfulacts.com, there's a video with Sheriff's Department from certain states and stuff like that talking about stalking, organized stalking type of situation, certain depending on what it is. But the video's up there. It comes from their situation. I just posted it to the website so it's accessible. It talks about corruption, police officers being corrupted and not helping out victims of stalking, and it being understood that there's misconduct, and when misconduct happens, to go back and to help that person immediately. Anyways, in this video, check out the last video that I posted, and it's just rambling. I know it's hard to deal with, it's boring, dull, I don't sound right. I'm definitely not 100% capacitated right. I have other medical, physical conditions, which has caused a lot of different things mentally too. So I'm not, I'm not a normal life living situation, and I don't want to cause a negative to other people saying, well, I don't want to get into that position. So, but I guess I'm standing my grounds for myself. Or anyhow, peace, have fun. I'll post a couple more videos, and on the way of what I'm looking into, maybe get some help. But targetofunlawfulacts.com, at least some of the stalking, targeting stuff there. I'll get into some things. Some people won't like me because I'll talk about legal reasons of behavioral rights, social code, stuff like that, but trying to maybe offer help to some people that want to claim that they're being targeted, and even myself, which I've been through it. Legally, some of it may be some, and without giving doubt that it's okay. Law enforcement, when they're putting into a case and investigating, it is being targeted, but that might have a systematical situation to it, rather than it being just somebody maliciously doing it. But I'm not going to definitely say, hey, it's okay for that to happen either. You see all these news articles and stories of people confronting the cops, pitting them not just back in their place, but about their oath, what they're actually doing, and not being so brutal mentally or physically. So anyways, I'm going to cut this video because it's actually 5 minutes longer than the other video that I made doing the same thing, rambling. One main point with the video is the electroshock in the body, going through the body. Legs completely, ain't done that in a long time. Muscle spasms, both legs, back, started going into my arms, and being overhearing just little, not just voices, but in for we're gonna screw you up, or hey buddy, you know what you did, hey dude, what you gonna do now? Look at the last video of insinuations and you'll understand. And like I said, I also have support of other people understanding, not just insinuations verbally, objects and them setting me up. And I haven't still progressed that enough. It takes an investigation, money, stuff like that to a point, but they understand that these people are utilizing certain tactics that are not right. Some aren't even law enforcement, some's corruptly working with law enforcement, the whole 9 yards of being a targeted individual. I'm going to go ahead and press stop on this video. I say that at the end of all of my videos due to electronic jamming. There's where it cuts off early or whatnot. That way, time and date on my videos, add it up, figure out where I'm at, location-wise, Columbus, Ohio. I'm at home where I'm at now here in Columbus, Ohio. I'll recognize it myself. West side, anyhow. Without throwing out too much information there, every video, time, date, as much description legally for location. That way anything happens, you can get back, understand where, and put things together. Who's around, what was around, normal, who's normally around, was it abnormal? Get the point. Start your own personal investigation. I won't say don't recommend it, but definitely log the situation. But professional definitely helps out a whole lot without it being law enforcement somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, rather than somebody stressing like myself of being technically perfect to be able to represent something to a system that they say they protect and serve the American citizens, when, hey, if it's proven that I wasn't protected, then I'm an American victim. I'm a U.S. victim of the U.S. system working wrongfully. Anyhow, press a stop on this video. Peace.